Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be having a look at probably one of the most expensive bots just on the market, like available right now, and that is Linear AIO. This bot goes for around $10,000, and we're going to have a look at it today. We're going to see, is it worth that much money, and what's it like to use and actually own. My friend has a copy and he's let me use it today for this video. I have managed to cop a few things on Nike, so we're going to talk a little bit about that, what it's like to use. Let's just get straight into it. So right now we are on the task groups page, and as you can see we have two groups. We have 𝙎𝙋𝙊𝙍𝙎 and Starfish, and this is because on Nike GB there was recently a restock on sneakers for the 𝙎�ㄇs and the Starfish. However, I didn't manage to get any. I have about 200 accounts, 216 Nike accounts, profiles, all that sort of stuff. However, didn't manage to get any. Have had a few things go wrong with my profiles, but everything that's gone wrong has been my fault. And that's something you need to consider when botting Nike. The bot does do a lot, and this is a request-based Nike bot. So this is like perfect. You have no windows popping up, maybe like other bots like Sneakers, for example, on Sneakers. Whereas on Sneakers, this is fully headless. It is fully request-based. It's amazing. Your setup does still matter a lot, and a lot of time, it won't be the bot's fault, it will be your fault if you don't cop. And that can be quite a hard thing to understand. A lot of people just want to blame the bot, but it's not the bot, it's kind of you. So, yeah, you do need to be aware of that. You know, if you're spending $10,000 on a bot, you can be like, oh shit, why aren't I copying? And actually, it's not going to be the bot's fault, it's going to be your fault. That's one of the things you do need to understand with Nike. However, Linear supports many other sites. If we actually go to add a group here, and let's just call this test as our test group, you can see all the different sites they support. If I go and press the plus up here, you can see they support loads of different sites. So it's like any normal Nike bot. They have a Nike monitor, which will actually monitor the Nike website for a specific SKU, and then this will start a Nike task. And as you can see here, reminder, Nike tasks require Nike monitor tasks to function. And this is because once this detects a specific SKU, it will then look over at these tasks and start these tasks. And we have waterfall checkout, so it can just kind of keep on repeating and repeating. And we can use a max quantity, so don't buy more than like 5 pairs. That's all pretty cool. You have all the different APIs, all the different regions. All the rest of this stuff is basic, so obviously the SKU, the sizes, the delay. You can use guest mode, so this is if you don't want to use a account list, which is cool. If you want to know how to generate Nike accounts and all that stuff, I have a video in one of the corners about GINGERGUAST. Probably the best Nike generator on the market at the moment. That's what I'm using to do all my Nike accounts with. Also down here you have your profiles, you have gift cards, accounts, proxies, all of that sort of stuff. And then you'd put in the quantity you want to make, so 200 of whatever, press create tasks and you're all good. So Nike Leo, that is what you want to be using if you're going for sneakers or the Nike app, and you can actually see that here. This is where you can choose Nike.com, Sneakers Web, or the Sneakers app. It's good to have that variety there. And then moving down from there, you have Nike Legacy. So again, Nike Legacy requires Nike monitor tasks to function, and this is just kind of older regions. If a region uses Foot Locker old region, it probably has a Nike Legacy region. So here we go. These are, there's no GB or anything. These are just like Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines, Singapore, stuff like that. It's just kind of other regions that haven't updated onto the latest Nike website. It's cool that you still have the ability to bot them, because you can use a reshipper, and you can actually do some really nice, like, you can do some big hits using them. So to be honest, I should probably use Nike Legacy more, because I do have some reshippers out there, and they do get healthy Nike restocks. But moving down, we also have New Balance. I don't know their performance on New Balance, but we really want to look at the two sites below that. That is Foot Sites and DSG. Dick's Sporting Goods. Linear literally kills these sites. I don't think there's been a drop. And even on the two below that, Converse and PacSun, where Linear has not literally destroyed. PacSun especially, it's hitting like literally 1,000 clips. It is insane on the essentials drops. Converse, it's doing really well on, but DSG, I mean, it's known for having loads of cancels, but I know people who hit like 40 plus UNC4s on that. That was insane. And it's the same with Foot Sites. So you have your 2 modes automation as well. This is when they can actually start the tasks for you, which is really cool. But regular is where you can just select the Foot Site you want to run, put in the size, SKU, monitor, retry, all that's different stuff, and you're good to go. It's cool that you also have the option to use gift cards on Foot Sites, so that can kind of help you get around cancels. But I do believe they've started to clamp down on that a little bit, so yeah, not perfect. Now moving out of that, let's just have a look at the UI, because I am such a big fan of this simplistic UI, and in fact, I do believe this bot is portable. Now I will need to test this, but it doesn't have a file or anything. You just download the exe, double click it, and it starts. Doesn't install any files. I think it does a little bit on app data, but generally it's like a portable device and like a portable program. I think that's super cool. But another cool thing I like is when you have hundreds and hundreds of Nike tasks like I do here, about 200 tasks, this can be a lot to scroll through. So what they've done is if you press this I in the corner, it actually shrinks it and will kind of tell you what's happening here. So it'll tell you when they're initializing, monitoring what they're finding, and it'll then show the add to cart process as well as any checkouts. This is really helpful just because when you have loads of stuff going on, it's kind of almost like a CLI interaction where you can see everything from an overview without just getting super confused by loads of GUI and not actually being able to know what's going on. So I'm a big fan of that. But yeah, that is task groups done. So we can actually go ahead and just minimize that. But if I didn't say it already, we also have the start, stop, delete, rename, all that sort of stuff. This is edit tasks. So you can just go in and change anything. That's really good. We can close task groups and go ahead and move on to profile groups. Now, let's say we wanted to create a profile group for all of our USA profiles. I go and click in here and we can import from AYCD. That's always good. And we can go ahead and manually create one. But probably if you're using a bot like Linear, you've got hundreds of profiles already set up. It doesn't need to have in-bot jigging, anything like that. I don't think it's necessary. Now, some people say, oh, well, you know, for $10,000 for whatever, it would be nice. Personally, I disagree. Now, most people using Linear will be renting. There aren't that many copies out actually on the market. A lot of it is from, you know, monthlies or weeklies from group buys, stuff like that. So if you are thinking about, you know, renting it or anything like that, I hope this video does kind of help you just understand how to use the bot a little bit. But proxies, as always, we are running Guava private. I'll have some discount codes on screens because I've been just loving these things on Nike. But you can just create a list or this test and you have your list. But no inbuilt proxy test or anything, just because I don't think they need it. You know, Linear is a bot where the code is kind of the main thing you're looking at here. But although, you know, I'm a really big fan of the GUI, it's that little animation there. I'm just a big fan of the small things here. We can close it and go ahead. And this is account groups. So I've got some accounts there for Nike slots, which I am starting to do. I'm trying to get into the Nike slots. So if you have Nike accounts, I'm looking for real bulk, but do contact me on Discord. What has helped me mainly with Nike botting is I've had a few problems, but the way I corrected my errors was with Ambush Lite. Now, if you guys really want to adapt to kind of shoes at the moment, you need to get in Ambush. This is the best raffle group at the moment, and they've been helping me out massively with my Nike because they made me realize why I was getting a bunch of these errors, and basically all of my setup things for Nike was wrong. All my jigs, they helped me out with it, so I do have to give a massive shout out for them. And if you guys want to actually see my raffle kind of content, should I make raffle content, any raffle progress, let me know, because I do have to just give a massive shout out to those guys, because my Nike button is going to be, you know, hopefully we can fix it and we're going to be stepping up a whole new level with now kind of, you know, being supported by Ambush. And then moving down into config, this is the last thing you have. So you have capture, you put in your AYCD access token and API key. They don't support individually to capture or cat monster or anything. Everything goes through AYCD, but that's kind of standard. Yeah, that's nothing crazy. Now moving down, we have webhook. Here you can set webhook, test webhook. You can hide your name in the public webhook. Doesn't really matter. Now Nike, this is quite cool. So there's a website called Rakuten, I think that's how you pronounce it, and this is cashback. So when you're actually buying on Nike, you can get cashback from your purchases, and this will kind of manage it all for you. This is really good when you're buying bulk bricks or you're just kind of buying shoes in general, because you can get money back for buying your shoes. Really cool, really small feature. I don't think many bots have that. I'm a real big fan of that. And then down here, this is when we have the automation configuration. So this is when we can start tasks if there's a certain amount of checkouts on certain SKUs. I think this is really cool, because it essentially means, I mean, this is a foot slides monitor task. So if a certain SKU, we can literally start running tasks just like that without having to be at our computer. I don't think there's a bot that does it this cleanly as well, because this is nice and tucked away, and you really have access to all the parameters here. So if we get 5 checkouts within, you know, I don't know, what would you want to say, 60 seconds? And then we can also stop the tasks after maybe 500 seconds. And then you can select sizes, SKUs, everything like that. Monitor tasks are pretty common, but having them kind of this clean is a big thing. But now it's time to actually throw you in a little bit of a live cop. They won't be kind of talking over this, but just so you can see how the bot functions on a Nike drop, because I did run this on lightnings and also starfishes. There will be lots of errors. They are my fault. anything that is like error 200, error 400, that is all me. Do not worry, I'm fully aware of that. However, I did manage to hit a very, very small amount of lightnings and stuff. Shiz, only 2 pairs of lightnings. I think I did actually check another one out. However, I had some like card billing issues. I ran out of money on my Revolut. Was not expecting to hit that many. But yeah, that was my first ever time running, and I managed to hit, which was crazy because I honestly wasn't expecting this sort of performance from a bot with a setup as poor as mine. And the truth is, with Linear, if I can hit, you can hit as well. Now, if you guys want to learn more about night botting, I will also have a video in one of the corners up there, just where you can learn the real basics. And if you want to get into it, you know, let me know. Should I do more videos on night botting? And what else do you want to see on Linear? This thing supports an insane amount of sites. I should really start to run some slots, people. And this is probably like the best bot you can buy right now for Nike. I think Nike has the biggest potential. I think if you want to get into Nike, rent this bot. If you want to run anything really over 100 tasks, like properly, you need this bot. Anything this, like Neo sneakers, this is where the industry is moving. A lot of people are heading towards Nike botting. If you look at what all the kind of big players in the industry and the game are doing, they're all heading towards Nike botting. You should be doing it too. $10,000 though, is it worth? Because I'm not too sure. And I will see you in another video. Any other videos you want to see, comment down below. And yeah, I'll see you in another video.